Hello and welcome to the In the Pocket podcast. I'm Logan Martin. That's Santa Cook. Max isn't able to make it tonight. He is busy with work, so we'll dive right into it. Thursday night football, Rams at Seahawks. The Seahawks are favored by 1.5 points. I'll kick this one off. The Rams need to bring interior pressure on Sam Darnold. Without pressure, Sam Darnold's EPA is fifth in the NFL. Under pressure, Sam Darnold, his EPA is 24th in the NFL. EPA is a very accurate measurement of what how each play affects the potential changes on the scoreboard for each possession. So, like an incomplete pass, negative EPA; loss of yardage, negative EPA. Sam Darnold's a lot better without pressure, and specifically a lot better. A lot worse against interior pressure. He really struggles with that, and that's what the Rams have been doing against him. Just stunts by their nose tackles and find a way to get to Sam Darnold. Every second he holds on to that football, it gets worse. The Rams need to be better on third down. That's a huge point in this game versus Seattle in Week 10. They were 2 for 11, man. It was horrible. And the Rams are 28th in the NFL in pass first downs. They can't get first downs through the air, which is crazy to think when you got Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams on your team. And the tight ends they've had. They run a lot of 13, 12 personnel, 2, 3 tight ends, and really works well for them. The Rams need to win the possession battle, excuse me. In the last matchup, the Rams held the ball for 22 minutes, still somehow won that game. Seattle held it for just under 40. So that's not a winning formula. The Rams need to find ways to sustain drives and not rely on explosives. Can their offense win on first and second down to create third and manageable situations? And the Seahawks, on the other hand, they're second in NFL in turnovers. And it's not because of just Sam Darnold. They have 11 fumbles this year, which leads the NFL. They're the only team in the NFL with over 20 turnovers and a winning record. They just so happen to be really good record-wise. I think the Rams have the Seahawks figured out, but the fact that the Rams are so public scares me. They were -1.5, and then that line completely flipped to Seattle. Now they're favored by 1.5. It kind of sketches me off, and all these public plays on primetime games just have not been hitting. But Seahawks will debut their rivalry jersey tonight. Look good, feel good, play good, play good, pay good. So that's my motto. Seahawks going to win this game outright 27-20.
Ooh, yeah, I'm right there with you. The Rams beat the Seahawks earlier this year, but Seattle turned it over 4 times in that game, and I don't think they do that here. The Rams defense has been struggling lately. We saw it against the Lions, where they gave up 34 points. Jared Goff looked good. The ground game wasn't as efficient for Detroit, but it still got some yardage out of it. And then the Cardinals had played somewhat okay, not really, but still the Rams defense hasn't been as efficient as it has been most of the season. Sam Darnold, he's also struggled. He struggled last week against the Colts, and he's struggled the last 2 times against the Rams. But I do think he plays better here. It's Thursday night football. It's a primetime matchup, like you mentioned. They're gonna debut the new jerseys, look good, feel good, play good. And I do think he plays better here in this matchup. I don't see another four interception game from him. I think he bounces back positively. Devontae Adams, on the other hand, for the Rams, he's inactive for this game, and he's been the Rams' biggest red zone threat this season. So I like Seattle winning at home this time around 27-21.
Almost had a bingo on that one. Almost had the exact same score. Moving on to the next one, we got the Eagles at the Commanders. Eagles favored by 6.5 points. This is a divisional matchup. If you take each team's home and away splits, the Commanders average 24 at home, Eagles 21 on the road. Commanders win this game. No, the Eagles home away splits are very eye-opening, which is, listen to this is crazy. They average 140 rushing yards a game at home, 90 on the road. Their passing numbers improve on the road, though, by almost 40 yards. So their passing attack is much different than their running attack on the road. So look for the Eagles to have a air the ball out, against this Washington team that likes to run a lot of man to man. I don't think their corners can cover any one of the receivers that the Philadelphia Eagles have. The Commanders are one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. Allow a shit ton of yards per completion, high completion percentage, and a lot of yards. So look for guys like AJ Brown, guys like Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert to have a really good game, maybe even Saquon through the air. Jalen Hurts has a completion rate of 62% in his last 3 games, which is not good at all. And his 80% completion rate versus the Raiders inflates that number. So you can only imagine what his previous 2 games were before playing the worst team in the NFL, the Las Vegas Raiders. And Lane Johnson is expected to return soon. And if he's back, that's a major boost to the Eagles offense. I think he's one of the best tackles in NFL history. And in his disappearance in this offense due to injury has really affected the run game and the pass game for the Eagles. That even having a stud right tackle with him being out, that can really affect the confidence of the quarterback because now he's questioning how much time he really has in the pocket. And the Eagles defense on the other side, they've been on fire. They allowed 9 points against Detroit, 24 against Dallas, 15 against Chicago, 19 against the Chargers in overtime, and 0 against the Raiders. This defense took it personally after losing to the Cowboys after going up 21-0. So, like I said, AJ Brown's going to have a game. I don't think any one of the DBs can cover any of the receivers on the Eagles. The Commanders allow 270 passing yards a game at home, which is freaking horrible. And for some reason, the Eagles get right to the air on the road. Give me the Eagles in a blowout, 28-13.
Mm. If you look at these two teams, the only unit you can bet to trust between the two of them is solely the Philadelphia defense. You can't trust their offense, and you certainly can't trust Washington on either side of the ball. The Eagles had a great offensive outing against Vegas, and with Washington in the same realm as the Raiders defense, I think the Eagles offense has some good moments. Like you mentioned, they play a lot of man-to-man defense. Can't be doing that when you have to guard Devontae Smith, when you have to guard AJ Brown, when Dallas Goedert can certainly get open. You could have Saquon in the pass game who has some flashy moments whenever he catches the ball. I do think Washington can stay competitive in this game because that's been sort of their nature all season, but not enough of a scare for the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles are just way too talented of a team to lose to just a beat up and old Washington team. So I like the Eagles in this one, 29-17.
But next game, another Saturday game. We got the Packers at the Bears. Packers got the best of the Bears at home last time a couple weeks ago. Now the Bears are looking for revenge. And with the NFC being as good as it is, every win and loss matters in this conference, man. Chicago could potentially not make the playoffs, which is crazy to say.
That is so absurd.
It's crazy to say, but you look at the schedule coming, pretty tough test.
Mhm.
So yeah, every game matters. This is a huge game. Both teams are battling injuries, especially the Packers. No Parsons, Zach Tom's out or questionable, I should say. Josh Jacobs is questionable, expected to return, and Christian Watson is also questionable, expected to return. And if you watch that Bears versus the Packers game, a lot of explosive plays by the Packers came against man-to-man coverage. I don't know if you remember that slant route that Christian Watson had across the middle of the field that went like 40, 50 yards to the house, and he had 2 touchdowns in this game. His speed, his athleticism, his route running is too much for a man-to-man defense to handle, and he would be the X factor in this game if he was fully healthy. But with a chest shoulder injury, I'm probably thinking like collarbone maybe. I don't know. I'd have to dig into it a little bit more, but I don't think it'll affect
Yeah,
his
to me it
speed.
looked like collarbone.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I don't think it would affect his speed, maybe his confidence, but Watson, after this injury was better than he was before the injury. So he definitely bounced back hard this year. And, I don't think the Bears are going to make the same mistakes schematically, offensively, and defensively. They ran a lot of play action in that game against the Packers. It seemed like 75% of the pass plays or pass plays were play action. So obviously Ben Johnson has something schemed up, cooked up. I wonder if they'll stick to that in this game. An eye-opening stat: Bears have a 68% touchdown rate when they're in the red zone at home, compared to only 51% on the road. So them being at home is huge for them to score in the red zone based on these numbers. And the Packers have a 70% TD rate on the road compared to only 58% at home. So Bears much better at home in the red zone. Packers much better on the road in the red zone. So kind of interesting splits kind of favor this matchup. If I were to take it, I'd probably take the over. The last 3 games, the Bears have averaged 9 points per game in the first half and 16 points per game in the second half. Let me double check and see if that's correct. Bears, because that doesn't seem right. Chicago. Yeah, they're scoring 9 points a game in the first half and 16 points a game in the second half. So I'm sure Ben Johnson's probably preaching to his team that we got to play all 4 quarters. We got to start strong. We got to finish. Um, I think they do so at home. I think not having Michael Parsons is going to be noticeable in this game versus a good Bears O line. So like the Seattle game where the Rams were favored early, I think the wrong team was favored. The Packers were favored yesterday or a couple days ago. Now the Bears are favored. I think they got it right now. But I'm going to take the Packers to cover the 1.5 point spread, but lose. They lose 25-24. Bears with a 1 point victory at home.
Yeah, this is a game that the Packers would love to have Micah Parsons back. He has 83 QB pressures on the season, which is, dude, 40 more than any other Green Bay Packer on that team. you need a guy like Parsons to get after Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams can make a difference on his feet. He can escape the pocket, make throws on the run. So when you have a guy like Parsons, he can easily go toe to toe with Caleb Williams, drag him down, force him into some errant throws. Now I'm not so sure the Packers can force a ton of pressure without the difference maker on defense. I think the Packers offense will keep them alive with Jordan Love playing as an MVP candidate over the last several games. But at the end of the day, defense is a crucial aspect in a divisional matchup. No Parsons, probably no win. I'm going Bears 23-20.
I like it. I had 23-20 written down, but I think it's a close game. Like really, really close. I think that the Packers with Micah Parsons are a lot better than the not a lot better, but they're better than the Bears. But without him, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Bills on the road in Cleveland to play the Browns. Brown makes big throws versus man coverage, and the Browns run the most man-to-man coverage in the NFL. Bills have all the momentum. Browns are playing for a draft pick. Sean McDermott's defensive scheme to defend the pass is going to make things so difficult for Shador Sanders. His disguises, dropping back, mixing up different coverages. It's going to make it hard for a rookie quarterback. But don't get it twisted, man. Cleveland's a tough place to play. We've seen it this year when it's cold and Miles Garrett's on that defense. I think the Bills handle business on the road, but they are not an offense we have like grew to really trust week in and week out. We trust Josh Allen. There's no question about that. But can we trust the receivers to get separation and man-to-man coverage? And can we trust a shitty pass protection on the Bills to block up Myles Garrett and the D line on the Cleveland Browns? I think, yeah, they handle business, but I don't think it's that easy. I think the Browns covered this 10.5 point spread, but the Bills win 24-16.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup. Bills are riding high after that divisional win against New England. Browns, like you mentioned, playing for a draft pick, and they lost by 28 points to Chicago. Shador threw three interceptions. It was a terrible day defensively, terrible day offensively. With the Bills riding high, I mean, who cares if the defense is terrible? Their run defense has been suspect all season long, so I'm expecting Judkins to have himself a pretty good game. But even with the Bills giving up over 30 points per game, they're still 4-1 on the year when they do give up over 30 points per game. Why? It's because, as Max likes to say, they have the winner soldier at QB. Josh Allen can win you ball games just by himself. And I feel like it's going to be more of the same in this matchup. The Browns defense has been killer all year, but you go up against a guy like Josh Allen, it is so tough to contain him. He can make those short yardage throws, the medium yardage throws, the post routes, the streaks. He can make plays on the run. A lot of QB option reads, a lot of QB runs up the middle. It's just so tough to guard him. And I pray for every defense that has to contain Josh Allen. So I think this is another Josh Allen type of game. Bills are, for the most part, not for the most part, they're obviously the better team. So I think I do like the Browns covering the spread. It's at home. They're a much better team at home. The defense is still pretty legit. So I got the Bills 23-14.
So you do have the Browns covering as well. Do you
Hmm.
know what Max picks for this game?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I wonder. I think he's going to pick the Bills to cover the spread. I think this is a trap line. You also have to consider the Bills are coming off an emotional high. They just got the Patriots back, got the revenge on the road. Now
Mhm.
they're on the road again, and probably even a more hostile environment in Cleveland. It's going to be a tough place to play after you come off an emotional high, like I just said, and and not to mention what we saw from Josh Allen. In these situations is it's unhuman, it looks like in
Yeah.
some situations. And but the thing is, when there's a 10.5 point spread, you have to have great offense and really great defense. And if you have one or the other, you're not going to cover 10.5 point spread. This is the NFL, man. This is the fucking NFL. Like, and we've seen that time in and out. Like we saw the Seahawks play great offense and struggle to finish on defense. Then Titans backdoor covered when the Seahawks were blowing them out all game. There's multiple other examples, but like I said, I just can't trust the Bills defense to play great defense right now, and I can't trust anyone other than Josh Allen offensively. James Cook in certain situations, Dalton Kincaid, but let's be real, it all relies on Josh Allen. Next
Yeah.
game, Chargers in Dallas. Dallas favored by 2.5 points, man. I think the wrong team's favored. I think this is a good matchup for the Chargers. Like the Jaguars, I haven't been giving them much credit. They're one of the top three teams in defensive EPA. Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator who came from Michigan with Coach Harbaugh, he could be up for a head coaching job the way he's coaching up this defense. Um, and this is a favorable matchup because Jesse Minter has created such a beautiful defensive scheme and pass coverage that really funnels down an offense. And when you're playing a defense like an offense like the Cowboys, excuse me, who rely on explosive plays to the pass game, perfect matchup for the Chargers, man. They're all about, funneling it down. We're going to guard you over the top, so you have to throw underneath, and we got really good tacklers. We're going to wrap up, make a play. So yeah, really good matchup for the Chargers. And the Dallas run defense has been inconsistent. They allow 130 yards on the ground at home, and I just think again it leads to a perfect scenario for the Chargers, who lost their two superstar offensive tackles. So if I'm the Chargers, I'm running the fucking football, keeping Dak off the field and controlling possession. Also, the Cowboys' pass defense is so questionable, man. You can't, Deron Bland's questioning surgery right now. Like, you can't tell me that you can trust this pass defense for the Cowboys. They suck. They were really bad last year, and they're bad again this year. So, like I said, run the ball, control the clock, take your shots. Justin Herbert doesn't need to have to throw the ball too much without his two tackles. Just keep him healthy. I think this game script is made for the Chargers and how they play for them to get this done. So I'm going to go Chargers to win outright as underdogs 23-20 on the road.
Yeah, I like it. The Chargers pass defense is one of the best in the league, and now they're going up against the best passing offense in the league. Chargers offensive line, on the other hand, they're banged up. A lot of guys are on IR, will be back within the coming weeks. Um, but you look at the Dallas defense, it's hard to envision them seriously pressuring the quarterback. And I noticed that if you pressure Herbert on like 45% of snaps, he doesn't really play that well. But Dallas has, I think their blitz percentage rate is,
It's not
well,
good.
no, it isn't. It's
They
in
can't get to the
I think it's
quarterback.
35, 37%. So I don't even know, even with a banged up Chargers offensive line, that they get to that 45, 50%. Uh,
Yeah.
the Chargers have allowed opponents to pressure their quarterback on 50% of pass attempts since week 12, which is the worst in the NFL. League average is 27%. So that's an eye-opening stat I saw. Chargers have also allowed opponents to pressure their QB on 35% of pass attempts this season, which is the worst in the NFL. League average is 25%. The Chargers have converted first downs on just 3 of 39 plays on plays up the middle since week 12, which is worse in the NFL. That's 8%. League average 32%. So there's some important stats going on for this Cowboys defense. And then on the other hand, Cowboys have thrown the ball 67% of the time on third and short this season, which is the highest in the NFL. They've run the ball on 33% of plays on third and short this season, lowest in the NFL. Cowboys have run the ball on 14% of plays on third down this season, lowest in the NFL. And they've started 9 drives inside their own 10-yard line since week 12, most in the NFL. So I think this is a really, really interesting matchup. It's definitely going to be close. At the end of the day, who do I trust more, the Chargers defense or the Cowboys defense? Because Herbert can ball out, Dak can ball out. But right now, the Chargers defense has been playing really, really exceptional football as of late. So I have to stick behind the Chargers. I do think that they can limit Dak. Pickens hasn't had many good games over the past month. Obviously, CD has, but when CD gets cooking, you don't see George Pickens cooking, and you need the two receivers to cook if you want to win ball games, and that's not what Dallas has been doing lately. So I like the Chargers in this matchup. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's 27-24.
Chargers.
Yep.
Sorry, I was just reading some NFL news. Wasn't really paying attention. I'm gonna go right through this one quick. Chiefs at Titans. No one's watching this shit. When you lose your best player, the whole team starts to question things, and that's what the Chiefs have with Patrick Mahomes. You got Travis Kelce on his podcast talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, not we. He always refers to it as we, and he's saying the Kansas. I hope the Kansas City Chiefs get him back. Like that language just makes me think there's something going on inside. That not much belief in that locker room right now, especially when your superstar's out. And the Titans average 16 points per game this year. The last two, they're averaging 26 and a half. So that's 10 more points a game. I don't need to do the math for you. But KC does not run the ball effectively. So now, without your best player, you're asking a backup to come in and do Mahomes things without a reliable run game. It's going to be disaster. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be comfortable. I know the line's 3.5. I think it's telling you that this is going to be a close game. The Titans are 0-7 at home. Chiefs 1-5 on the road. This is just gross, man. So I can't trust my homeless Chiefs who aren't playing for anything. So I'm just gonna take the Titans to cover this game, but lose. Chiefs win 20-17.
Yeah, I mean, when you lose Mahomes for the year, and you got Kelsey talking, who's basically confirming he's gonna retire after the season, and you're eliminated from the playoffs, all hope is out the window, man. So, I mean, we saw what Gardner Minshew did in his limited time against the Chargers. He threw a game-sealing interception. So, and now he's playing the Titans. Yes, they don't have that good of a defense, but Gardner Minshew, he's just not a good starting quarterback. He's an okay backup, but can he can he perform well enough to guide the Chiefs to a victory? And I don't know. I truthfully I don't know. But you are playing the Titans, and the Titans have played like hot ass this season. Yeah, the past several couple weeks the offense has been pretty good, but for the most part it's been horrible. Defense has been pretty horrible. Um, this is going to be a really ugly game. This is not a game that even Chiefs fans watch. So part of me really actually wants to take the Titans in this matchup, but I just do not trust that team as a whole. I think they're playing for a higher draft pick. I'm going KC 13-10. It's an
Ew,
ugly game. Ugly
ew.
game. I'm going 13-10.
13-10. Ew, turn my TV off, man. Ew.
Mhm.
Buccaneers at Panthers. Buccaneers lost 4 of their last. No, go first. Go first. I'm gonna let you
I've
go first. Go first.
Yeah, Bucks have lost 5 of the last 6.
Yeah,
Both teams are
yeah.
playing, dude, both teams are playing hot potato. Do either of them want to win this division? I don't know. Buccaneers and Panthers have dropped critical games. Buccaneers just dropped 2 division games. Panthers lost to the Saints. But no game on their schedule will be bigger than this game. It's a fight for first in the division. Buccaneers were called out by Bulls after their loss. Respectfully, I think Bulls should have been called out, and he was by Buccaneers fans. I think he should have been fired a long time ago, in my opinion. So how will that defense respond? And Baker, on the other hand, he's been missing throws he used to make in the first half of the season, which also raises questions. But between these two teams, it's realistically who has better talent and who has the better coaching staff. I have to stick behind Tampa. Like with Mike Evans coming back, with McMillan back, with Wirfs being back, and having another week to gel, it's going to help a shit ton. It's going to be tight, but I think Tampa takes this one 26-23.
Yeah, man. You said it. Losers of 5 of the last 6. They won a 3-game losing streak against New England, Buffalo, and the Rams. Tough schedule. You can't talk badly about them too much. But they had a great opportunity to get back on track against the Saints and the Falcons. They didn't. They dropped both. And the Panthers, couldn't secure the division last week against the Saints. So there's just a lot going on this division, and this division in the AFC North are battling for the shittiest division in football right now. And Baker Mayfield, he's not been the same over his last 5 games. He's averaging 161 pass yards a game, a 57% completion percentage. He has 6 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, and he's taken 10 sacks. That is not the Baker we have grown to know over the last couple of years. And on top of that, Buccaneers haven't had much of a run game. Bucky Irving's back, but hasn't ran for over 61 yards since returning. And their offensive line has been battling injuries ever since I can remember. But they're getting healthy right now. They are getting healthy. This is Bryce Young's game. This game will say a lot about the next 5 years for Bryce Young. A divisional matchup where a lot's on the line. You need your young quarterback to show up, step up, and prove that he's capable of these big games and performing in these big games. So, um, you know, I think Carolina has a favorable matchup. The Bucks are a bottom 5 pass defense in the NFL this year. On top of that, they're 31st in the NFL when defending the red zone. They're allowing their opponent to score 72% of the time that they get in the red zone, a touchdown. So that's not good. Good news for Tampa Bay. Carolina only averages 2.8 red zone attempts a game. So if they can keep the Carolina Panthers out of the red zone, they won't allow the Panthers to expose their weakest part of their defense. But we have seen the Carolina Panthers get in the red zone, do some damage to the pass game. They have some pretty neat pass plays in the red zone. Um, but yeah, the Bucks allow 7 more points a game in the second half, and the Panthers need to find explosive games in the pass game to compete. Their wide receiver, Ted McMillan, he's questionable with an ankle injury, I think. And then on the other hand, Todd Bowles just cussed out his team in front of the whole world. Yeah, I think he knows what he's doing. I think he timed it just right. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game, 26-21.
Yep, right there with you.
Uh, that's 4 o'clock. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Only one, I think, only three actually. Bengals Dolphins, gross game. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. It's been in the making for several years now. Tua Tagovailoa has finally been benched. Not only is he benched, he's not even the backup quarterback in this game. He is serving the emergency QB role. It's been a long time coming. NFL fans rejoice. That dude is ass. So Quinn Ewers is in line to start. He balled out at Texas, but can he ball out in the NFL? There's a reason why he was QB3 entering the season. Now he's somehow getting the starting role. Bengals are officially eliminated from the playoffs, but Joe Burrow said it himself. Like, I'm going to still play football. Like, I love football. I'm going to continue to play these games even though we're eliminated. And I love to see that. So, with a Burrow versus Ewers matchup, ew. Little joke there. It was terrible. Don't come at me for
No,
it,
that's
but
so that just sat with me. That's actually pretty good. That's a good one. I gotta
thank you,
give you
thank you,
credit for
thank you.
that.
But seriously, ew, dude, it's terrible. So I gotta go with Cincinnati in this one. Like Rodgers gave the blueprint on how to beat this Miami defense, and I think bro will just pick apart that secondary with ease. I'm going Cincinnati in this one, 34. It's gonna be ugly. I think 34-16.
Yeah, I mean they're in Miami. I think, Joe Burrow and this offense are gonna come into Miami, see the warm weather and play a lot better than they have in the cold.
Mhm.
This pass offense is explosive and Chase Brown when Joe Burrow's in the game plays even better. And then on the other side, I think the Miami defense is pretty impressive this year. You can't, you know, can't give them too much credit, but at the same time, in the last three games, they're allowing 18 points per game, allowing under 280 yards a game. You know, allowing 4.5 yards per play. This defense is playing really good right now, allowing 93 rushing yards a game in the last three games, allowing under 5 points in the first half per game in the last three games. Like these are numbers we never thought we'd see from Miami if we watched the first couple games of the season
Yeah,
based on how their
seriously.
defense was playing. So they have definitely found a rhythm, found a groove. They know what they're doing with the defense over there. They're gonna get right. On the other hand, it's Joe Burrow, man. Joe Burrow and warm weather. I already talked about it. Um, going against a rookie quarterback. Give me the better quarterback. Give me Joe Burrow and the Bengals to win this game 27-20. Next game. I don't even want to talk about this. Jets at the Saints. Jets are going to cover the 5.5 point number. Saints win 24-20.
I don't think the Jets cover. I think the Saints are just a much improved team lately, and the Jets are just on a downward spiral as of late.
Oh, it's 6.5. Sorry.
And ah shit, I think the Jets cover. Damn, just as I was thinking, they won't cover. Yeah,
Well,
they're gonna.
as I'm talking, it goes up to 6.5.
Yeah,
It
never
looked
mind.
like as we're talking.
I think they barely cover. My prediction was a 6 point win for the
That is
Saints.
insane.
Fuck. So, anyways, but Tyler Shuck, he's proven that he can be that real deal in New Orleans. I mean, he's had back-to-back games against division opponents with a game-winning drive. They got something special building in New Orleans. I've been really, really impressed with the play I've seen. Neal is a great running back behind Kamara. I know Kamara's been injured, and Neal has filled that role pretty well. Vele, he's coming in and just freaking killing it as a receiver next to Olave. I think they found something special in him, and the defense has played pretty well lately. So I'm going with the Saints in this one. I think they win 27-21.
I like it. So we both got the Jets covered in this case because it went up to 6.5. Last game on the 1 o'clock slate. Man, why did we end it
What's
with
your
three
score?
bad games? I said 24-20. I got the Saints winning.
24-20. Right. Yeah, yeah,
I didn't even give a reason.
yeah. I
This
know.
Minnesota Vikings at the New York Giants. Minnesota favored by three out on the road. Giving
Mhm.
JJ McCarthy too much credit, man. I don't know. This is another game where I'm not gonna watch. Like Minnesota last three games, averaging 21 points a game. Giants last three games, 21 points a game. You look at the Giants offense, they average 21.4. At home, they average 21.5. Away, they average 21.4. In the last three games, they're averaging 21. So are they just scoring 21 points in these games? Injuries. Do you know who you got winning this game?
It's honestly so tough to call. I got to take Minnesota in this
Yeah,
matchup.
24-20. 24-20 Minnesota. Covered
I
the
think
3.5.
Minnesota's just a better overall team than the Giants are, but do I trust JJ McCarthy to go into East Rutherford and grind out a win? He was very, very impressive in that last matchup, but other than that, he's been pretty ass, but always good to see him ball out. On the other hand, you got Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart can make plays on the run. He can make plays in the play action game. He's a stud. I think once you build around Jackson Dart, give him more weapons and a better offensive line, that kid is going to be so good. But right now, just the whole Giants team, I don't think it competes against I mean, somewhat compete against Minnesota. I just think Brian Flores is going to make it hell for Jackson Dart. He's going to have a lot of pressure schemes, get in his face a lot. So it's just going to be pretty tough. So I got Minnesota in this one. I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna do the same thing as you, 24-20.
Sweet. What a way to end it, man. What a way to end it. And that will wrap up the 1 o'clock slate. Well, it's not just the 1 o'clock slate for Sunday. This is Thursday Night Football, which is going on. Rams Seahawks. Then we got two Saturday games, which will be fun. Two really good Saturday games. Or actually, did the Eagles play on Saturday? Because if the
Yep.
Eagles Commanders play on Saturday, I take that back. That's not a really good game. But the Bears Packers are gonna be a really good game. So yeah, we're excited. Tomorrow we're gonna dive right back into it. We're gonna go over the 4 p.m. slate. We got like the Jaguars Broncos game that's gonna be huge. Patriots and Ravens play later that night, and then we got the Steelers and Lions, which a 7 point spread. Ooh, is that too much? We will find out. But yeah, this is the In the Pocket podcast. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, sorry I'm quiet today. My son's sleeping next door. Please don't think I have no energy and I don't care. I do care. I'd be yelling and screaming.